Why in the world do people come from all over the United States to this place in the highlands of Guatemala? They are members of the Cascade Medical Team, and they volunteer their time and skills to help out Guatemala's indigenous people.
Pues la verdad, la jornada médica que se da aquí es gran ayuda.
These missions are a great help for everyone. Here in Guatemala, people really don't have the opportunity to get medical help. They don't have the money. It affects young people too. They don't have jobs to pay for specialists. The medical mission is a great help for everyone.
It's one of those marvelous discoveries of life, is to see how people really rise to the occasion and really reach out beyond themselves, beyond their world, their jobs, all those that they really reach out and they really make a difference in life.
The people come here because they can see that there is a big need in these areas of the highlands of Guatemala. There's a passion, and I believe there's also a calling for those people who feel that people have to be helped, and we're trying to do that. We're trying to help as much people as we can by providing them health.
Yesterday I had this most wonderful experience, and I was in putting IVs in people and trying to take their minds off of what we were doing and putting holes in their arms. So I was chatting with them, and I can't tell you how many times the people told me that when they go to see the doctors here in the country, that there's this coldness, there's this not friendliness, and how much they appreciate the friendliness and the warmness of the team. And I heard it over and over all day long, and it was a fantastic feeling, and it was great. I wanted to just share that with the entire team, because I was getting all these accolades poured towards me, but really they belong to everybody.
Aquí la jornada médica es un gran ayuda para nosotros, pues, para la familia.
These missions are so much help for all of us, for our family. My father had his eyes operated on, and everything came out well. And my sister had an operation, and me too. I've had an operation. Thanks to God that these missions are here working for us, because we don't have the money to pay a private doctor here in Guatemala. Thanks to you for the medical mission that is helping us.
It's giving hope for the people here to know that there is medical assistance beyond the hopelessness that they've had generationally.
Well, when you realize what the purpose of the team is, which is to come out and provide the medical care, the dental care, the home care with the stoves, we're changing lives. We're making things better for people who have no way to make things better for themselves. If we change one life, it's worth it. And the idea is you may have a little child comes in with a birth cyst, for example, on his finger. Well, that will be taken care of. Or you come in with somebody who has a gallbladder, which is happening on a regular basis several times a day here, that will die without treatment. And if all of this effort saves one life or improves one life, it's worth it.
This week we saw over 1,000 people in the clinic, and without an exception, they were incredibly grateful for the very simple kinds of things that we did, whether it be Tylenol for a headache, or in some cases providing antibiotics for something that they've had for a long time, or being a channel for the hernia that they have, is something that is life-changing for them.
I was trying to discharge a 12-year-old boy who had received a very simple surgery. It should have been a very straightforward discharge, but I will never forget this interaction. The mother, she was probably 5 feet tall, she weighed 90 pounds, and she was fierce. You could tell that this boy, her son, was the sun and the moon to her. And she only spoke Quiche. And as it happened, there was no one in the clinic who could translate from Quiche to Spanish to English. She wanted to know if she needed a receipt for a receta, a prescription for more Tylenol for her son. She wanted a note to give to the teacher. She wanted to know when he could be eating meat and if he could have milk. And she wanted to know all of these things. And it was very complicated. It was a very long exchange. She would talk on and on and on, and then the translator would say, "When can he have milk?" And I would go back. At the end, from her sweater, she pulled out this 20 quetzal note. It was all folded up many times. And she gave this long speech, and it came back to me, and she wanted to pay the doctor 20 quetzals because she was so grateful, because no one else would help them. She'd gone to many doctors and no one else would help them. And he was the only one who would help. And she wanted to pay him 20 quetzals. So when it got to me, the translator from Quiche to Spanish, she was crying. And then it got to me, and I looked clearly in the eyes of the Spanish to Quiche translator, and I said, "This is why he came to Guatemala. He came to Guatemala to do this surgery for your son. That's why he is here. And we are so grateful to have had this chance to help. And so we want you to keep your money. This is free. We want you to use the money to buy food for your son so that he can be strong. That is what you should use the money for." It goes back around. And she says, "I will say a prayer for you all. I will say a prayer for the doctor. And I will thank you all again so much for your help today." And it comes back to me. And I said, "Yes, you may light a candle for us. You may say a prayer for us. And we will say a prayer for your family too." For that, I'm so grateful to have come here.